Hey, bro, welcome back. HSC Podcast. Big Box Steve on the mic. Got Big Smooth, Fresh West, of course. And here we are into the second podcast of March Madness. So, first podcast, we talked about first round and going into our final fours, a little bit of our tournament picks. But now we're through two rounds. This is where the tournament gets exciting, right? This is a lot of fun part of the tournament. I think at this, if your team's still in it, right?
Boo.
Ooh, but
Yeah.
this is this is where for me, I mean, I like all of the college basketball tournament. March Madness is fun to watch, but you see some really good games, I think, here coming to play it out, hopefully. And so, just real quick, we got to get it out of the way. You know, Florida, tough loss, even tougher at the end. You did have them in your bracket, but it kind of busted a lot of people's brackets.
All right. So let me start this first, Derek. So just to ease your pain a little bit. The guy that hit the game-winning shot, what was his name? Do you remember?
White guy from Iowa.
Yeah.
John or Jarakowskis or something.
Yeah. So people are like the next day just complaining because he should have been thrown out of the game for punching the dude on the
Oh,
ground, right?
I saw
Remember
that.
that?
That was just a bad angle, though.
It doesn't matter. The thing is at the end of that game, I don't remember what his name was. He grabbed the rebound away and took it away from Boogie Fland and got fouled. Okay, if you're going to take the ball away from Boogie Fland to get the rebound, you better make both your free throws. He misses one, so it would have been okay, a tie game then, right? Then Hawk shoots an air ball like for a three-pointer, which would have, and I was like, wow. And then, okay, so then Iowa goes down, gets the three, and you still got like 5 seconds left. So, let's give it to Lee, or could we like do that the same play for Boogie Fland, who is actually a drive to the basket guy?
Yeah.
And dude, Lee, didn't you graduate from Princeton? And what kind of stupid play was that? You didn't even get a shot off.
Well, but what on the lat when Iowa hit that shot, people are also complaining why are you pressing? You're up by 2 points, right? Do you how that you know how they press the inbounds and they let the guy go by him?
Yeah.
They just kind of set up a 3 point play. I don't people are like baffled by that.
Well, the problem is once he got, going up the side of the court, cross half court, you put that guy in the position that he can't go to the corner and guard the three pointer because now you leave the lane wide open.
Right.
And no, you don't press. You sit back, you play good defense. If they make a three over contested defense, great. Good for them. But you're gonna give them a wide open three? Like that's just
That
crazy.
was horrible.
Yeah, it was like it's like the St. John's game. Remember, like they fouled him like 4 times. They had 4 fouls to give, right?
That was
Foul
wild.
4 times, and they're pressing because you know what? We want to we're going to foul them. So that's why is Florida pressing if you're not going to give up a foul? You
Right.
know?
You might as well just foul them.
Yeah.
At least then you get the last shot and you're playing in overtime.
Yeah.
Because that's just it's just for me watching that last possession, it's silly because you also have the guy now chasing the ball instead of in front of the ball. So I'm not sure I understand what he was trying to do there, and maybe the plan was to foul him. He just couldn't catch him.
Well, they said that was the play call. Iowa had actually called that play in the huddle, what
Yeah.
they were going to do. So
So
they
they
knew
knew
they were,
what Florida's defense was going to do.
yeah.
They just got a little out coached there at the end, maybe.
You still had 5 seconds left and you had a chance but you didn't even put up a shot.
Right. Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was even.
Owe had like 3 seconds left. He put up a half quarter to tie a game. So why
Yeah,
can't you get like a shot off?
just get something at the basket, right?
Yeah.
The St. John's one was crazy too because they had all those fouls to give, and then it looked like St. John's wasn't going to get the ball advanced past half court because they kept taking the foul in the backcourt, and Patino was getting hot. You see him on the sideline?
Yeah.
He's like, get the ball in the front court and get fouled, right? Because then they get the ball taken out over on the sideline, further up court. And then you watch that point guard, I mean, he's the point guard, but he walks over and Patino's just yelling at him, and he puts his hand up to Patino and he's like, "I got this." And you're like, "Dude, did you just do that to Rick Patino?" And then he goes and makes that shot, and Rick Pitino, dude, that's why he did no emotion. He was like, "You better have made that shot. I would have cut you tomorrow." Because that guy was crazy. I was like, "Man, that's Rick
I didn't even know
Pitino you
how to
just
get,
walked up
it's
to."
like, how do you even let him, you know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
It's like, he actually got that shot off. Like, man, I was like, I don't know what they were thinking.
I mean, perfect amount of time. 4 seconds means no extra time for them to come back and get anything. Like it couldn't have been better for St. John's in that moment. All right, so speaking of St. John's, let's just get into a couple quick of the games real quick, and then because we're going to talk Final Four in a minute, but out of the games that are coming here Thursday, Friday, so we have St. John's and Duke. That's one of them. After watching St. John's in that Kansas game, they had handled Northern Iowa pretty good. What are their chances against Duke?
I haven't beaten Duke. I already had him beating Duke before. I don't think Duke looked that good. I mean, TCU got out of their game in the second half, and I'll give it to Duke there, but I think St. John's is playing better right now.
Well, I have Duke going all the way, so I have to root for Duke. What what's your feeling on this game, Wes?
St. John's is a physical team, and that doesn't bode well for Duke. It's just like, I don't know what it is. I mean, Boozer's a physical guy, but this isn't the 1990s. Your power forward shouldn't be your best player, and he's a physical guy. Everybody else, to me, isn't that physical. I mean, they're lanky, they're tall, and they got to play big against St. John's because they're big, they're long, and they get after the hoop. You know, they're not a team that's just going to sit there and jack up 53s. They're going to go at the hoop and they're going to challenge Duke, and we'll see. I'm not saying Duke. I picked St. John's in 4 of my 7 brackets there, but I'm not saying Duke's due to win a national title, but they better play big and long against this team, or they're going to get pounded on the glass. Um, so I mean, to me, it's still a coin flip. I'm picking St. John's, but Duke. I mean, come on, how many? What annoyed me about the Siena game was Siena was just slapping them around the first half, and then Duke's like, okay, oh, I have a McDonald's All-American on the bench over here. Just go in there. I'm gonna sub in people. And Siena got a little bit cocky. It's like, you got to sub, dude. You can't just play all your starters. And they kind of wore down, and they didn't lose by much. It's like, but that's what Duke can do. Is, let me look down the bench. Oh, you're our
Yeah.
10th best player. You're a McDonald's All-American. Get in there. But you know what? What's amazing is they're just all so thin. It's like, but like I said, they're long. They play long. You better play long against St. John's, or you're gonna get beat up physically.
Yeah, you talked about that last podcast with VCU and um, a couple other schools when you're just talking about the smaller mid majors, things like that, that have the players that play to seniors and they've been playing together for a while. But the Dukes, they have the talent, right? Even though those players are young and not as developed physically, they're typically really good basketball players. I think Duke has to pass the ball well to win this game. If they can move the ball around and get some open shots and have a lot of assists, then I think that they can do well against St. John's. And then they have to play pretty good defense. You don't have to play
I
great defense to beat St. John's.
no,
You just have to play good defense.
no, because they St. John's really sputtered in like this, the last 7 minutes, and Kansas caught up with them, and Kansas had a chance. It's like St. John's can go in those lulls, like where they have, like it's kind of like Houston, like we can't score because you know what, you're not just jacking up threes. If someone for Duke gets hot and just starts draining, like or if they all get hot, then St. John's is a lot of trouble. But if you're going toe to toe physically, I'm taking St. John's. I mean, they're like they're grown men. It's almost like grown men, and you know, Duke's got to hit their shots. If they hit their shots, they might beat St. John's by 15. But if they don't,
Well, this is where it comes down to. So we're talking about this week reacting to some predictions from previous. So we got some good predictions here, but this actually kind of feeds into the one reaction that Wes, you can react to, and so people watching it, you can see it. I'm gonna put the link right there in the corner. But Wes, you know the one I'm talking about. I posted it already. It's the VCU upset, right? And as we talk about that, we're gonna do this new segment reacting to our own predictions. And we were all there, I mean, Wes, you said VCU is going to they have a little bit more endurance. They're bigger, more physical. Then this is North Carolina game, round one. And so if you guys want to see that, click that link right there. But let's decide now, is this a great prediction or is this a lame prediction? So North Carolina's hurt, best players out. We're jumping on VCU to beat them. But the content sounds good, right? They did what they needed to do physically. So how do we react to that prediction of ECU beating North Carolina? Is that really off the wall, or is that just solid basketball knowledge? Go ahead, Wes. React to your VCU pick.
VCU's always been tough. They're always senior led. These are grown men playing basketball. And North Carolina is just like Duke. You got to, again, like, all right, you got a bunch of younger kids. And, these coaches at the mid-major levels, they're not bought off and sold by anybody. They want to win. They don't want to get embarrassed, and they want to prove something. And I guarantee you, these in the locker rooms, the coach is like, hey, give them a little nudge. Don't get a foul because you only have 5 to give up. But play physical.
Yeah.
Make them intimidate them physically. And VCU's always done that. And that's why they've kind of advanced to a certain extent through. And that's why, I mean, honestly, last 2 years, North Carolina has lost in the first round. And that's why Davis got the chop. It's like, oh, well, you know what? It's like, well, the problem is it's not just your talent level. You're looking at things wrong. These are young kids, and you better have a darn good strategy. People don't believe in strategy anymore. They don't believe in running plays. We both play isolation and some crappy pick and roll plays, which is pathetic. Like John Stockton and Karl Malone would just puke watching their pick and roll crap. Like it's terrible. And that's all they run. And so you got to run plays.
Yeah. Well, that was that ended up being a pretty strong prediction. So I mean, I'd say that's a great prediction. It's tough because Carolina's best player was hurt, but still a lot of people had North Carolina. We were all on VCU from that prediction, so that's a positive thumbs up for me for the VCU pick. And then Derek, you talked about BYU, and I didn't. You had BYU, right?
No, at Texas.
I mean, losing. Sorry.
Oh yeah, BYU losing to Texas.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
your prediction was Texas beating BYU, and yeah. So I was talking the other way. Sorry. So you predicted BYU would lose that game, where a lot of people didn't. I didn't jump on the bus on that one either. So what about BYU made you pick that, and how do you react to your prediction there?
I mean, BYU was a sexy pick because of AJ, cannot pronounce his last name.
AJ, lots of
Awesome.
money.
Yeah, but like we saw, he's a one-man team and he's not a three-point shooter one-man team. And so history has shown in the tournaments you need like either a three-point shooter. I mean, I guess okay, I'm wrong there because Danny Manning did it, but that was in what,
Yeah.
88?
Well, Carmelo Anthony. I mean, that's
Right,
another
but
thing too.
Carmelo could shoot though.
Yeah, he could shoot.
Um, so I just thought Texas was hotter, and I just didn't, BYU toward the end of the year was not doing well.
No,
I just didn't, the eye test was not looking right.
no. And Texas, it's like did they underachieve the whole year? That happens. It's just like, but they're just loaded with athletes. It's like okay, BYU, not very many athletes. Texas, one of the most funded schools in the nation, biggest schools in the nation. They're gonna have athletes, and they're gonna run up and down. They're gonna play over your head, and you can't just have a one man show. You know, I
Yeah.
wasn't
So
surprised.
so overall, that was a great prediction. So reacting to that, I would say great there. That was much, I think, a little harder in the sense that BYU still, played good all year with what they had, and they had a good team. And so Texas did have to play well to win the game. Kind of leads us into Texas Purdue. What do we think on this game? So Purdue, pretty impressive. They turned the ball over a lot against Miami, but Miami's tough. They're fast, they're scrappy, and I understand why they turned the ball over. But Purdue turned in a pretty good game against a really tough Miami team. So how does Texas fare against Purdue here in the Sweet 16 here? I'll start with this one because I like Purdue. I think Purdue's big. They have to play a little better defense than they did against Miami, but they made up for it with a lot of hustle plays, good shooting, getting open shots, and then their star has to play well. When you talk about Kaufman Wren, he's a beast. He's a little out of shape though, which that worries me with the Texas game because Texas is going to run you. But overall, like I think Purdue has a good chance here. I picked Purdue ahead of time, but I still think Purdue probably wins this game.
Yeah, I
But
mean, Purdue's got a great inside outside game, and that I mean, tournament tested. I mean, you watch them like late in the regular season. It's like, I don't know if they have the athleticism to like keep up with like a Texas, but if they play their own pace. They should beat Texas. I mean, Texas has been playing great. Now everybody wants to jump on the Texas bandwagon, and this is when it happens. It falls apart. Purdue is solid. I didn't believe in them. Like my bracket, all seven of my brackets, Purdue was not advancing to the Elite Eight. So that shows you that. I'm like, then I started watching them. I was like, yeah, they can beat anybody at their pace. You just can't let.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Purdue. I just think, yeah, Texas also had to play a play-in game, so they played more. So I think, you don't really see 11 seeds going to the Elite Eight, Final Four. And Purdue is fundamentally sound. So, I mean, though Smith needs to he got all the assists and then he had tons of turnovers
He
against
had a
Miami.
lot of
He
turnovers.
he needs to get that under control for this game, or else they will lose.
Yeah, I think there was a little exposure there, but he's been around a long time. He's a good player, and you watch him. He's very smart. He's got a lot of a high basketball IQ. Really, is when you watch him play. But he made a lot of mistakes, and I think the athleticism of Miami caused that. So Texas, I think, has to do the same thing, but they just have to shoot a little better. Okay, so going down to this next game, let's just do this one real quick here, and then we'll get to our next reaction. Michigan State and UConn, like this is a big game, and I actually am excited to watch this game. Two powerhouse schools in basketball history, 2 and 3, fighting for that right to go. Who gets to play Duke?
St. John's.
Derek's like,
Yeah, try to correct that one. Try to slip it in. And then, again, they're just trying to advance, obviously, but just two great programs, great coaches. What wins this game? Like what's gonna be the final extra that what one of these teams needs to actually win this game?
This is such a difficult game because the coaches for both these teams are made for the tournament. Both these coaches coach so well. I mean, how many times have we seen Tom Izzo with Michigan State and we're like, Michigan State's not going to do much. And then they're like, oh, they're in the Final Four.
Yep.
And then, UConn the last few years, it's like it's a given. So this is a real tough one because one of them isn't going to go. Um, it's, I kind of feel like it's a coin flip, really. They
yeah.
have the ESPN matchup predictor has it 46 to 53.
Wow. Well, what are you going with?
I'm going with Michigan State. I it's it,
I like
I don't
it.
know how to explain it. It's just whenever you think Tom Izzo can't get a team there, he does.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Fears has to play better than he did last game. Yeah, he had all the assists, but he just needs to have a little more um, control over shooting the ball, but shooting and making open shots to where they don't realize that, oh, this guy's only going to be passing the ball. They get to start playing the passing lanes. It causes turnovers. So he's got to also shoot a little better in this game for sure. I like UConn's defense here. I think if UConn gets going defensively, it's going to be trouble for Michigan State. And I think it's going to be a battle of coaching. Really, is going to come down to who calls the best game between the two coaches. Players have to execute, but even when they don't, these coaches get them out. They get in rotations that are doing well, and they're great at adjustments on the fly. So this to me is a game of coaching. I think Izzo is a great coach, but lately I'm going to put my money on Hurley. Wes, what do you got?
I, I mean, I would because Hurley is super, 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 super motivated, like angry, like totally like I wants to win. But I think it's the fears factor. I think that is the key. I think athleticism. I think Michigan State holds the advantage. I think that's what's gonna give them the edge. I'm taking Michigan State.
Nice. All right. Well, that may be a reaction next week, so we'll see which one of us is doing that. So jump over this next game. So I'm going to do another reaction before we talk about the Nebraska-Iowa game. We already talked about why Iowa's there, right? And so here's the video link there. You could click it. And so this is my reaction to picking all four number ones, and obviously Florida killed that. But you look back and you think about all number ones. Oh, that's such an easy pick, but it's really not, right? And so because I don't, when do you ever pick all four number ones in your brackets? It's pretty rare. But this year, I really thought that they had a good chance. Looking at the way the brackets broke down, there's no way Florida should have lost that game. It's crazy that they were one, like they should have blown Iowa out. They're a much better team. And I guess that's just tournament basketball. But I don't think it's a horrible take, but it's not the best because it almost feels like the easy way out to take four number ones. So I will hold that against myself on that take. And obviously it didn't pay off. So but that leads us now to a great game because now you have a 4 seed and a 9 seed. One of them's going to the Elite Eight. So that's pretty cool for these teams.
Well, I wanted to say one thing. I did only two brackets. I'm not like 20 million bracket West. But my second bracket, it was a control bracket. I just took the top seeds through the whole tournament.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm in the 94th percentile for,
Wow.
for doing that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So obviously you can do well if just by taking the top seeds. I picked four number ones and I'm in 99.5 percentile right now, even with Florida losing.
Yeah.
So pretty good chance there when you're picking the best. But to get a little higher, though, you have to get some of those games like VCU and some of the flip games, especially High Point, right? Who's got High Point? You can see that in our shorts.
Yeah.
That one's fun to watch. But Nebraska, Iowa, who's going? I hope Nebraska goes. Don't get me wrong, but I never pick my teams I like to root for because what's going to happen? They're going to lose. That's my luck.
Yeah.
So who you
I'm
got,
taking
Wes?
Nebraska. Screw Iowa. That's all I'm going to
I,
say.
Yeah, I
I,
already know who you got, Derek.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Iowa. Early in the year, I watched them play, and they kind of tailed off. But I saw the way they played. I was when they're on top of their game, they can beat anybody. They just beat Florida. So I'm gonna go with Iowa.
Iowa does have that momentum now, right? It probably felt really good to win a game that if you're real honest with yourself, you're like, this is a tough game. We're probably not going to win. And then you come out of that winning and kind of developing a little bit of a strategy, maybe.
Yeah.
You might have a little shootout here, right? Just a lot of threes.
Well, Nebraska did beat Iowa by 9 2 weeks ago. So,
Yeah. Well, if Nebraska gets hot from threes, they're one of those teams that you don't want to play. That's the problem. They're going to come down. Their whole tournament's based on their 3-point shooting percentage.
Wes is just mad at Nebraska because they beat Vandy.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
but
dude. But dude, the shot went in the hoop. It was in the hoop and it bounced out. Like that was so stupid.
that was rough. So maybe that's the miracle. I'm I'm gonna pick Nebraska against my better judgment because that's probably gonna make them lose. But I think Nebraska shoots the ball well enough to win that game. Well, it killed my four number ones. So let's wrap these last ones up a little quickly. Illinois, Houston. I like Illinois, but not to beat Houston. Houston's defense, I think, is a little stronger. Illinois is long, like Wes was saying, they're one of those teams that you need to play up and down the court. They're going to attack the basket, and they're really tall. But I like Houston here defensively, and they're playing pretty well. They put a hurting on both teams they've played so far.
Yeah, I'm taking Houston. I got, this is now their year.
It might be because West didn't pick them.
I picked them to go to the final game in one of my brackets.
Well,
Oh
I mean, come
no.
on, dude. You picked everybody to go to the Final Four in one of your brackets.
I did not pick Houston to win, and this is the year they're going to win, dude.
Well,
Dude,
but are they going to beat Illinois is the question.
yeah, they'll beat Illinois. I mean, they're plus 60 in the tournament so far. They're beating down teams. It's like they should beat Illinois. So
All right. Well, let's jump over to Tennessee, Iowa State. Tennessee, kind of on that, again, momentum after beating Virginia. But Virginia, to me, wasn't very consistent. And so I actually did have Tennessee winning that game in my bracket. But after even watching Tennessee, man, it's going to be tough to go in there and beat Iowa State. I mean, I got Iowa State pretty easily in this game.
Well, yeah, I have Iowa State in my Final Four to begin the tournament, so I'm staying with that.
yeah, it's the only thing I'd say is Virginia was pretty impressive, but they played with a certain pace that kind of Iowa State plays with. I just don't think they'll get away with that with Iowa State. Iowa State should win that game. You know, so
All right. Michigan, Alabama.
ooh.
Give me your thoughts on
I'll,
that game.
I'll admit I was completely wrong about Alabama. I got Alabama beating Michigan.
Oh no,
They
Oh,
look,
no.
they
oh no.
look legitimate.
The revenge for the 1999 Tom Brady Orange Bowl right there. Is that what this is?
I mean,
Oh no. That's going to destroy my money bracket.
The
well,
1990 Tom Brady Orange Bowl, really?
1999.
Oh, 99. I was like, but what does that have to do with college basketball?
Because Tom Brady was with Michigan and beat Alabama. That's where
Yeah.
everyone knew, oh, there's Tom Brady.
All right.
So Alabama's got revenge now, dude.
I think Alabama is gelled and they're playing well. They don't, it looks like they don't even need their second best player. They just mantle Texas Tech. Michigan's looked really good too, but against St. Louis and,
Howard.
Howard. So,
Dude,
So
nah.
you got taking Bama here. So you got a lot of upsets going
All
here.
I'm saying is I was very disappointed in Michigan in their first couple games because, come on, dude, it's the Fab Five. You got to come out all yellow. Every
Right.
game, all yellow, no white, no blue. See, when Michigan lost to Duke in the national championship in '92, they're wearing all their blues, right? Leitner just wipes them off the court. What happened next year? We're going all yellow. I don't want to see no more white or blue from Michigan. You
I
better come
actually,
out all yellow.
Wes, you got
Fab
some
Five.
wild. Wes has some wild takes sometimes, but I agree with this one. I think Michigan has to come out all yellow. Like
They did it
it's
all year. How many times did you just see them? They were like wearing yellow, and then I watched that game on a couple of days ago. They're wearing white. I'm like, come on, dude.
but did they win in all yellow that next year after losing to Duke?
It's not. It was a subvert on the bench from Michigan that told Chris Webber to call the timeout. It was a subvert, Ed. It was a mall.
That's great. That's awesome.
Maybe it's Connor Stallion's dad.
I don't know. I like the way Alabama's playing, but I have Michigan in my bracket, so I got to stick with them in that sense because from the beginning, looking at their talent level, watching them play, even in the St. Louis game, they just look like they really have a strong core of players that if they play well, they're going to be really hard to beat. So I think Michigan more beats themselves in this game if they lose. but I don't think they're going to. I still think Michigan. I like Michigan here. And then let's wrap it up here with Arizona, Arkansas. Save this one for the end for you, Wes,
Oh,
because
oh,
your
good.
favorite A Cuff. So your reaction to you talking about, A Cuff, the coach said he might be the best player he's ever seen, and you were like, "What are you talking about? Best player you've ever seen, A Cuff?" He looks pretty good though. I mean, best player I've ever seen is a little bit of exaggeration, but
He's very
you
good.
kind of went over the top in your like reaction to that because people have said that before. But Acuff looks good. So what do you
He
think about this
does.
game?
Uh, so many of my brackets involve Arizona. Dude, I got I'm a believer. I'm an A Cup believer now. I watched a lot of highlights and reaction. I'm not gonna get on the Stephen A. He's like the next Allen Iverson. Shut the hell up, dude. You know better. Anybody, Allen. Practice? Come on, dude. Now, is he Allen? There did you know that Acuff already's got an endorsement deal with Reebok, and in
Why
the
not?
Reebok ad, it's Acuff and Allen Iverson sitting right next to him.
Nice.
Come on, dude. But yeah, I think again, your best players should be your wing or your guard. He's the best player right now playing in the country. I'm taking him.
Taking
Roll with
it,
Acuff.
Arkansas.
Yep.
All right. Well, I have to stick with Arizona again. I mean, how good is High Point, right? If they go in and Arkansas barely gets away from them.
High Point's good.
uh, I just don't know that he can carry them through a team like Arizona. There are too many weapons. They're playing too well. They had just a great year. Arizona's going to wear them down. I think this is going to be a shootout and it's going to be epic. But I think Arizona will wear them down in the end and probably pull away at the end slightly as well and win by 10 or so. So I'm sticking with Arizona on this one. But I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna be the most fun game you'll watch all weekend. Maybe the UConn Michigan State. It's a tough one.
I got Arizona, and I think it's their defense is not being talked about. I mean, they averaged only giving up 68 points a game. And so if they clamp on the defense against Arkansas, Arkansas is not going to get their running game going. And I don't think it's going to be that nice high flying 90 to 8, like 87 game. I think it's going to be in the 70s and mid 80s.
You're hurting viewership, Derek. It's going to be
That-
a high flying, exciting game. You're not promoting right now well for CBS here.
I don't really care about Arkansas or Arizona, so I could say what I want, and I'm still taking
Dude,
Arizona.
my money bracket, I do have Arkansas, but in our bracket, I have Arizona. So
they got it
I got to go
about
with my heart.
165 over under. So you might see they got it scoring a little bit. All right, well that'll wrap up the March Madness section there. We'll of course be back next week, talk about our picks. Uh, I mean, I'm off to a good start. We'll see how this bracket plays off. 99.5 percentile. So
Wasn't that a radio station we used to listen to?
yeah. Well, can I get the 100.3? How do I get that one?
One K103.
But let's jump over to stay in sports for a second here, because we're gonna get to movies here shortly. But NFL, I want to talk just a little NFL offseason. We hit a couple podcasts. NFL offseason slowed down a little bit as you move towards the draft, but you have pro days. You've got, they have the combine. you got all free agency trades, all that kind of stuff that's happening. What's I guess sticks out the most in NFL offseason for you guys right now in general?
That there's too much time in between until the draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, why do you do the combine and pro days so early if you're going to wait that long to draft?
Yeah.
Because then you get all these talking heads talking crazy, and they just have time. They have to fill air time. It's like, no, it's like we don't need to double and
It's all
triple.
about them. It's all about Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper took over.
Okay.
He's not relinquishing the next generation of Mel Kipers. It's all about Mel Kiper. Dude, I watched the Caleb Downs pro day. I was like, this is hideous. You know how I know Caleb Downs is one of the best defensive players in this draft? Because I watched him for 2 years play on the football field.
Yeah.
Right.
He's out there. There's like 150 dudes doing this. Well, let me see. You know, I don't know. Those shorts look really too tight on him. You know what? He might drop a couple slots. Come on, dude. He's out there running around. He could tear his ACL in a freaking pro day.
So you're saying
Like,
pro
it's
days a bad
stupid.
thing? So
No.
no pro days?
It's another ESPN freaking generated to get us all hyped up for the draft. I just want to watch the draft, just like the Super Bowl. You don't have to hype me up the Super Bowl. I just want to watch the game. I don't care about the hype. This isn't Lifetime. This idea that it's like a male soap opera for men. Like, no, I want to watch the game. I don't want to watch him run around in tights, with a bunch of fat white dudes. Like, you know what? I didn't like that. Like, have you seen his tape? I hear he's not 6'1". They say he can play rover. You're not 6'1". That means you can tackle. That means you get inside there and you hit people. And then you can drop back in coverage. Like, but we have to have a pro day, right?
What about the players that don't get to go to the combine, right? You got to have something for them to show off or at least to do some drills.
Yes, but not him.
Right. So take out
Yes.
either the guys who already went to the combine or your top players. Pro day, maybe just make it for the people who didn't get to go to the combine.
Right. Right. Like, if you're a mid-tier, if you're like a tweener, like first, second rounder, yes, pro day is important. But all they did was show him and Carnell Tate and then Ty Simpson. Like, I guess Ty Simpson's a tweener, but still, it's like,
He's the
Carnell.
best quarterback in the draft, Wes.
Oh, jeez. I'm putting my head on.
Now it's
I'm going total Bill Belichick for the rest of the podcast.
ESPN Orlovsky take. We're talking Ty Simpson.
No, I can't do
I
that.
mean, we'll just mention that real quick because we're talking NFL, we're talking combine, we're talking right now who's the biggest pick in the draft. It's Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall. And I think most people analytically have him as the best quarterback. So
Well, it's just I think the problem is he's not flashy. He doesn't, he doesn't go and like set the world on fire. But here, like if you watch a tape, he does what he needs to do. He reads defenses, and he calls out defenses, and that's what you need. So many times we've gone through in the NFL, and you've got like players, quarterbacks especially. They're like, oh, this quarterback could throw over a mountain, but he can't read a defense.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Bears, Caleb Williams. He has all the talent in the world. But the first 3 seasons before he got Ben Johnson, all he was doing was kind of like playing playground ball.
Yeah.
He couldn't read a defense. He was getting sacked all the time.
Yeah. And Brady, and he's already good moving the defense with his eyes. Brady's going to make him better. And it's 40 yards. Like, I've seen some of his tape of, like, he'll throw a 40-yard out, and it's on a line. It's like Herbert in a sense. Maybe not the same velocity as Herbert, but he can read a defense better than Herbert. It's like let's the moon. Let's forget about the moon. I love the deep. I love the deep ball. Those days are over. The moon ball. You want a guy 20, 30, and he can move the defense with his eyes. And you know, what's the most important thing is let's move the defense, move everybody away from Brock Bowers, and you know he's gonna be a multiple year All Pro with Brock Bowers. That's all there's to it.
Is there a question? I don't think there's a question, but you guys had mentioned it before, so I thought I would throw that in there real quick. But there's not any question, I don't think, in most people's mind that Mendoza's a better pick and a better quarterback than Simpson.
I think what it is, and I know this is an extreme, but think about the year when Peyton Manning came out and he had Ryan Leaf. There were people that said Ryan Leaf
Right.
is better. And if you look at it, physically, Ryan Leaf was better. Probably Ty Simpson physically is better than Mendoza. But you don't need someone to, like Wes said, throw it over a mountain. Like
Yeah.
the accuracy is what matters.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
strategical strikes.
reading the windows and getting them the ball in space is really important in the NFL right now. I mean, you look at guys like the new wave to me of receivers is going to be the JSNs, right? The getting in those open spaces and really causing problems for these defenses because coordinators are getting better at finding the holes in these defenses. So defense are going to have to get more creative. But I think Mendoza's good at that, and he will be good at that. And I just don't think there's a question to me of Ty Simpson versus him. But obviously, Orlovsky has a problem with him. He thinks he's better. A couple things I want to hit on combine. Have you guys see like how many just combine records were challenged or broken or just the combine in general? There was a lot of good combine out there this year. Just Sonny Styles and by himself,
Well, and his
that
brother, right? Both of
yeah.
them.
You look at his combine and you look at some of these other guys. I don't think obviously there was no breaking of the 40, but lots of great 40 times at different positions too. You had uh what's his name from Oregon, the tight end, Sadiq,
Yeah.
run the fastest 40 for any tight end ever, 4.39.
hmm Well, then what David Bailey did and all of his things, like his 40 and then his shuttle time and everything. It's
Yeah, he had like the trifecta or the quintuple, whatever you want to call it, man, because he had so many where they were all really good. And there was a couple players like that. So just kind of reviewing the combine, man, there was some successes there.
yeah, I feel like this is a weird draft because
Yeah.
you have Mendoza at quarterback, you have Love at running back. Receivers, I don't, nothing, nobody really stood apart. And then you have defense.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like you have a few linemen, but I don't think they were that great. But when you're talking Arvell Reese, Styles, Downs, Bailey, those are some quality players you'll get in that top 10.
So that's kind of the reason I bring that up is to talk about the draft, because I want to finish right here with talking a little bit draft, not a long draft. We'll have a full draft podcast, but how is the draft looking from afar right now? Like, is it a great draft? Is it an average draft? Is it a bad draft? Um, it doesn't seem as hyped to me as some of the drafts in the past. But you look at the players, and there's lots of good players.
Well, I think it's what it is it's top heavy. And then after you get like to pick eight or nine, it's 9 through 50 that are like it can all be the
Mixed around,
same.
right?
Because like yeah, it's a deep safety draft, which isn't sexy. I think it's a deep corner draft and deep pass rusher draft.
A lot of defense in general. And
Yeah.
then I also think it's kind of like there's no question marks with like Mendoza. I think that kind of lowers the hype around the draft when it's just like, oh, this guy's going to the Raiders 100%. And he's also not like uh
You're not going to have
a
him in
Caleb
a
Williams,
gas mask
right?
smoking weed before the draft, like
Yeah.
Tunstall.
Yeah, he's just like he's not a real hype guy either, right? So I feel like the draft isn't as big as it's been in past years.
Well, gosh, what they're going to say Love could go like 4.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, everyone's now like making Love out to be the greatest running back ever.
He's got a lot to prove. We'll see what happens for him when he's going against, NFL talent. I think that's going to change a lot for him because you don't outrun people like he did in college in the NFL, right? You don't run over people like he did in college in the NFL, and you're gonna have to bring it every week. So we'll see how Love does. Definitely, we'll have more NFL offseason coming, so that's good. Let's jump into movie segment here. So we're gonna have a short movie segment tonight. We're gonna talk about uh, new movie segments coming out that we're gonna do. But as we always do in movie segments, you have a person that, and he's not just all actor, but Chuck Norris passed away recently, and he did have his day in the sun in TV and movies. But it's just Chuck Norris. Like this guy has a whole joke about him that has been going for a long time, and so it's kind of a big deal. It's he's getting older. It's sad to see anybody pass away, but so rest in peace, Chuck. But Chuck Norris, it sucks. Um, I mean,
Yeah.
just in general, what's your reaction to it? Are you a Chuck Norris fan or
It's kind of funny with Chuck Norris because when we were growing up, it was like Invasion USA, Delta Force, very like B movie action movies, right? Missing in Action, Firewalker, like stuff like that. And then he did Sidekicks. And
sidekick?
then he had like that second wind of Walker, Texas Ranger, where it got really mainstream, but it was a TV show. But then, yeah, he really took off with the joke of like,
Right.
Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups, he pushes the earth down. You know,
They're always good too. Even
yeah, they
that, it's
are.
funny.
Um, but that was the thing, yeah. He wasn't like, you know, a super star, like movie star.
No, he was not the best actor.
No.
uh, what do you guys think he's most remembered for? Like, when people think Chuck Norris? I mean, I think it's Walker, Texas Ranger in general. Like, if you have a lot of people that's where they know him from because they were getting millions and millions of views.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, it went for 196 episodes, almost 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the newer generations, it's the jokes, but it's like most people are going to think Walker, Texas Ranger.
Walker, Texas Ranger. What do you guys remember him for?
I remember from like Missing in Action and Delta Force and stuff.
Is that the first thing that pops in your mind when you think Chuck Norris?
Yeah, because that's how I watched, the first things I watched with him, and then like The Way of the Dragon.
Yeah. What about you, Wes?
Yeah, I think of him fighting Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
It was that was like hardcore. And of course, Walker Tech. It's like Chuck and all the memes we can talk like they're like all. It's kind of annoying because everybody is just blurting out memes about like the most ridiculous. My meme is Chuck Norris didn't really die. The world did. We just it's conspiracy, dude. It's like we just don't know it yet, dude.
Yeah,
Come on, what are we talking about here?
it's Chuck Norris.
It's Chuck Norris. And Chuck Norris is like the man's version of Richard Simmons. Or he's the guy that's like, dude, he
Oh
wasn't
man.
the greatest actor. Walker Texas Ranger was the cheesiest show ever. We watched it as kids, but his longevity, his fitness, the stuff he
Yeah.
did through his 70s. Like I used to watch those tapes, like I can't do that, dude. I'm in my 30s.
Well,
And
he's I think it's always exciting for people when there's the martial arts experts. I mean, look, even
yeah.
Steven Seagal somehow made a living like pretending he was a martial arts
Yeah.
expert, dude. So when you had Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee at the time you were talking about that, that was a big deal, and the movies part of it, I think, is for the most unrecognizable part of his career because it was a long time ago, but it was also really bad. And
Oh,
look, I grew up watching Missing in Action, Missing in Action 2. Like, I had them on a VHS with two other movies. And so you had to watch that one also because you can't just watch the one or two
really?
movies. You got to watch them all. And man, I used to love it so much. And then I just watched because, of course, he passed away. So I went and watched Missing in Action again. It's so bad. Oh my gosh, it's so
But
bad.
but you know where they missed the mark? Like Stallone, like dude, he should have been in Expendables 4, dude.
Oh,
Or 3. Can you imagine if he just showed up in a cameo in
He
like
did.
yeah.
Expendables 3, dude?
He
Like,
was
it's
in.
like all of a sudden there's Chuck Norris, dude. It would have made it like
He wasn't he in that?
Yeah.
he was he?
Yeah,
Derek?
he was in. Let's see which one it was.
Oh, he was.
Expendables 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez, dude. I haven't seen it.
But you're right though. Like he belongs in that group.
Yeah.
He's been a part of that group. But yeah, and then you mentioned Sidekicks. That actually was box office. It was a low budget, but still made some money. But Walker Texas Ranger obviously is what took off. But you have to go back, and this is for anybody listening, and for you guys if you haven't done it recently, you got to go watch some of these older movies with him in it. I mean, he's looking at the camera. He's like giving thumbs up, and like it's just so hilarious. But it's those were my favorite movies of him, and that's I'll always remember Missing in Action. I've seen it a million times, but man, it's so bad, it's good.
Well, and who can forget him in Dodgeball?
Dodgeball.
I don't
Oh,
remember. He's on
You know
Dodge.
where he gives the final vote to see who wins.
right.
Oh, jeez. I remember
And
now.
he's like, effing Chuck Norris.
But I mean, that's where he became right to like he could show up everywhere because
Yeah.
of the meme, because of like the legend that it was the meme. Like Chuck Norris could just pop out of anywhere and everybody would know what you're talking about. And none of them even watched him. So rest in peace, Chuck Norris, great one. So we're not reviewing a movie of his this because it would just be unfair to people if we reviewed a Chuck Norris movie.
Is there a top 5 or is like a
No.
top 2?
Speaking though of top five, this is going to be the movie topic. We're just going to talk about this for this week. Going forward with the movie segment, I know we get a lot of views and a lot of comments and things on movies. I want to know what the audience thinks, so comment, and I'm going to get a short about this, see if we can get some comments on that. But what do you guys think? What's better, doing a top five list of movies, movie genres, things like that, or reviewing movies in whole of genres and things like that? So, what are your guys' feelings on which one's better? They're both good if we're doing it, but which one's better? Top five or a full on movie reviews?
Well, I think it's easier for you, Steve, with the movie reviews because you have the app that gets almost all the movies. And I think Wes, it's harder for you because you don't have like a bunch of the apps, right?
Yeah, it's easier at the top five.
My preference, I mean, would be I like doing the movies, like, because it's cool because it'll be like, I haven't seen this movie in forever.
Yeah.
Let me watch this. Or Wes has given me another 3 hour movie I gotta watch here. But I know it's harder for Wes to do that.
Well, the top fives, like I still like to watch the movies when I do my top fives because I still want to feel like because a lot of the top fives, even though they end up being movies we've seen multiple times, you haven't seen them in a while, and you want to like validate that. Um, but we don't give as much in-depth reviews when we're talking top fives as we do when we're doing a full movie review either. And there's some intricacies that we get into movies that makes the movie reviews fun when you start talking about backstory and history or things that happen with sets and budgets and things like that. What do you think, Wes? You like the top five or you like the movie review?
No, I like the top five better. I'm a top five guy. Movie reviews, I get to talk a lot about movies, and sometimes it's hard, you know. So top five is a lot easier for me to do.
Yeah. Um, as far as ease of use, I think top five is definitely easy. I will tell you though, one of the other questions was what do our analytics say? After reviewing it, people seem to like the movie reviews view wise.
Mhm.
So just looking at overall views. But here's the thing. And so here's the test. We have a lot of top fives that we didn't have shorts on over the years. And
Yeah.
so we're going to pull out some old top fives. So if you're watching, check out the shorts because I'm going to have some old top fives coming at you. When I was, lighter and younger and probably better looking years ago, we'll pull out some old top fives.
Yeah, because that's what we did for years, right?
Well, that's why I was kind of asking what you guys thought and what the audience would think or people listening is would you rather hear a top five or would you rather hear a movie review? Lately, our movie reviews have gotten great traction, but we weren't doing that for the old top five list. So we'll get some of those going again. But I think we should do a little A/B testing here over the next couple of weeks of the podcast and try a top five list, try some movie reviews, and see which the audience likes more.
Yeah.
So we'll put together a top five for next week, and we'll have a full movie section for you. Anything else on the movies from your guys' side?
I don't know. It's always hard and it's so annoying now that you have to have like so many different apps just to get
Oh,
certain movies. Because like Wes was talking, in our text thread about F1. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll just see if I can check out F1. It's on Apple. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't have that one.
oh yeah, I didn't even copy that part. We have to talk about the Academy Awards real quick.
Well,
That was our last topic.
yeah. Well, I watched spurts of it off and on. I watched Conan at first. I watched Michael B. Jordan win. That was kind of cool. And then after that, I was like, oh, I don't want to even watch Best Picture because it's just going to be dumb. Um, so it, the song and dance, the performances, it's so like 1970-ish, 1950. It's like, dude, you guys don't understand that people are on TikTok right now. They're not watching. They don't care. Did you even see Brad Pitt there? I saw DiCaprio. I was like, was Brad Pitt even here? Like, I don't think so.
Well,
Well,
Sean Penn wasn't there.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be either. I'd be like, George C. Scott. I'm like, sorry, I don't believe in this like idea of we're giving awards for, film and all this stuff. It's like
Well,
it's just done.
what do you guys think is I mean, this is opinion based, right? But there is some statistics that show that their ratings are and viewership are plummeting. Like, what's the cause of that?
No one wants any more. It's all like the political stuff. No one cares. I mean, I don't need these super rich people like DiCaprio telling me just like we're wasting fossil fuels when he's off on
Yeah.
a private plane.
Right. All
Yeah.
over the world, all the time. Not
Yes.
just the Academy Awards, but everywhere they go.
I want to thank I want to thank 50,000 people. Why don't or I want to talk about my political views. It's like, why don't you just say something that's real, like a real human being would say? I don't care if you sit up there for 2 minutes and bawl your eyes out. I'd rather hear that than let me thank the woman that got me my coffee. Like on the set. It's so tight. It's done. It's a tired and these kids, you think that our generation kind of tuned out. Like
You're
these
right.
kids are like, what are they talking about?
Well, that's what one of the things when you kind of dig into it for the lack of viewership and the ratings dropping, but in general that it is there. It's almost like an oversaturation of it. That it's just not only is it everywhere, it's been everywhere, but it's not as cool as it was
No,
when you had to tune in to watch it,
no.
right? To see who won and
I,
then they went up and gave real speeches.
I would just put the five nominee or whatever it is and just say, oh, there's a winner and yay, and let's not hear a speech and let's just show all the highlights, all the clips from the movies that should have been nominated in the Academy. Like I want to see, okay, Michael B. Jordan won. Oh, let's show Bruce Willis in Die Hard and just show clips. Like 3 hours, like Lethal Weapon, like even Die Hard 2. There's so many good scenes in Die Hard 2. Come on, dude. And just do that, like from 1980 to like 2010. All the movies, like The Dark Knight, that should have been nominated. All these movies that never got nominated that are
Caution.
still popular, people.
Well, speaking of that, real quick, one of the other things that a lot of people have issues with is the movies that they believe should have been nominated or should have won, or the snubs and things like that. That's to me, and I'll just take my personal view on this. I think that it's gotten out more and more out of control with that. Of like, you're like, this movie has to win, and then they're just like some other random movie. You're just like, what?
All right.
You
What's the
know,
biggest snub of all time to be nominated? Is Empire Strikes Back. Not nominated. Are you kidding me? That movie's not nominated. Dark
that's a tough
Knight,
one.
yeah. 2001 Space Odyssey, not nominated.
Well,
Like,
that's the thing is, at least I will give this for the Academy. They've learned one thing. And back when Empire Strikes Back came out, would they've would someone would have won for weapons? Would someone would have won for Sinners? Right? You're not going to have two horror movies win any Academy Awards, and this year they did.
That's interesting.
Well, I mean,
The-
right? I mean, you're never going to get like you were never going to get actors or actresses in horror movies nominated for Academy
right.
Awards.
Yeah, well, but remember, we've been doing movies on that's popular right now in the mainstream, right? With
Yeah.
we had to do Dracula. They were talking about the darkness and the horror films. Those are more popular these days.
But yeah, I mean, like was said, like why are movies like Life is Beautiful and stuff winning Best Picture? Like some of these movies were just
because life is beautiful, Derek.
it's just some of these movies are like we're just gonna make a movie that's so much
Dude,
fluff that the Academy Awards is
oh,
gonna let us give our
I
and that's
came
all it
out with
is.
a bigger one. Heat didn't get nominated.
Right.
How does Heat not get nominated?
That's a tough one.
Well,
Like
the
the
greatest movie
English
of all
Patient
time.
wins that year, but Heat doesn't get nominated. Come on, dude.
Well, Wes, Shawshank Redemption never got nominated either.
Yeah, it
Right.
did.
Did it?
Yes, it got nominated. It didn't win.
for
Yeah, it
best
got
picture.
nominated. Look it up. I think it did.
Where's the data
Mistaken.
guy? Hey, where's our lookup guy? We're gonna have one of those one of these
No, we're
days.
gonna. That's gonna be what's his face?
Well, maybe when the kids get old enough, we'll make them do it.
It's Brooklyn. Here, just look this up.
Nominated
But
for,
speaking,
nominated for 7 Oscars. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
It was nominated, but it didn't win, Wes.
well, it
Of
should have
course it
won.
did win. No.
Forrest Gump.
Like
Forrest Gump.
Reservoir Dogs get nominated. I mean, come on. A Usual Suspects to get nominated. I mean, come on. Nowadays, if Usual Suspects was up for Best Picture this year, it wins hands down. It's over. Like Reservoir Dogs, over. Buffalo, dude. Buffalo 66, over. Like these movies now, it's different.
Well, here, like the things we look hindsight now, but Forrest Gump won, right? But it beat out Pulp Fiction and Shawshank Redemption. Come on.
That's just not fair that all
That's
those
like
movies are against each other, though. That's three pretty good movies.
yeah, there are.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Like
Well, and then the other, I mean, that's the thing is also as sad as this year's, I'm like, eh. The other two movies nominated were Four Weddings and a Funeral and Quiz Show.
Maybe it should be like NFL Hall of Fame, right? Like if you don't win this year, you
You go to the
you get a
next.
certain
You
amount of
should.
years that you get to
Wedding
stay in it.
Crashers would have won this year. Wedding Crashers would have won this year. Like, come on, dude.
I love it. That's the new Academy Awards. You get nominated, you don't make it the first year, you got like a 5-year window that you can win against some crappy movies later.
Well, that's the thing is you have to get enough votes to move on to the next
Right.
year.
Like,
Right. There you go. I like it. We're gonna have a new Academy. We just fixed Academy Award system in 10 minutes.
yeah.
Look at that. Oh man. But overall though, it's they're declining viewerships now. People aren't watching it. People don't like the snubs. People don't like the voting system. People don't like a lot of that stuff.
It's not even that. It's like people. It's you watch on a Sunday night and everyone's like, MF, MF. I got to get up and actually go to work. I actually have to work for a living. You guys don't. I don't want to hear this like, well, making a movie is really hard. I know a little bit about movie making and all that crap. It really isn't harder than getting up and bartending for fucking 10 hours with a bunch of drunks.
Well,
Like,
nobody
I'm
likes
sorry. Like everybody's like, dude, it's like, I think everybody's just sick of it. Like 20 years ago, things weren't this hard. Paying your bills wasn't this difficult. Like, and these guys sit up there and they almost like mock everybody, with their jokes. And they're, it's like, yeah, only we get it, you guys don't get it because you're not at the cocktail parties. You got to get up and go to work tomorrow.
No, so Derek mentioned this earlier, and I mean, Wes, it's just kind of the same thing as what you're saying, but it's in line with that too. Is there's this club that they have, and they belong to it, kind of what you're saying there. But it's also, I don't. You're right. I can hear about politics. I can hear about what's going on in the world or saving the people and starving kids. I hear about that all the time, every day. Like I want to go and I want to talk about the movies, right? I want to hear about the movies.
Yeah,
I want to hear
that's
about,
true.
what was great about making it or who helped the most and things like that and why the movie's so good. I really don't want to watch that to have the same thing I could just turn
It's
on
like
CNN for.
it's like another movie that should have been nominated, Casino Royale. I just want to see the best scenes of Casino Royale, than hear some freaking woman that's a set designer from a costume set talking about costumes. Like, show me Daniel Craig, when he beats everybody up or blows up the freaking facility or when he gets a fight with M. Like, I'd rather see that the whole freaking show than watch, well, thanks to the Academy, my outfits look so great. It's like, no, let's how about we just entertain people? because it's not entertaining people anymore.
No, it's not.
I don't know. I know Steve made a comment on one of our old text threads that you don't like him anymore, but I love Conan O'Brien. I thought he did a great
He was
job.
pretty. He was pretty. You know what's funny is he was funny, but he was measured. He knew because there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of crap, and he could have really went for the jugular, but he was measured. You know.
Well, because they didn't want to, and he didn't want to Ricky
Yeah.
Gervais it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he could have got up there and said no one's illegal on stolen land.
Yeah. No. But but you know
I
what?
will say though, like you were saying though, what like last year, what you had Kieran Culkin get up, win for Best Supporting Actor, and what he talks about is, hey, remember wife when you said if I want another kid, I have to win an Academy Award, and then he's like, what going on
Yeah.
now? See, that's good.
Yeah, that is good.
It, and one more thing about Conan Bryant, what was funny is he could have really went for the throats. Like he kind of let up a little bit on DiCaprio and everybody, and he let up and it was funny. He would tell a joke, and the crowd was awful silent.
Well,
You know,
everybody's
Because they don't like
afraid.
to be made fun of.
everyone, yeah, they're afraid to laugh. It's like that tells I was kind of laughing at some stuff, and these guys are like, it wasn't that funny. It's like,
Well,
what do you know about funny? You've lived
comedy,
in a fishbowl for like
yeah.
25 years. You don't even know what regular people like anymore. You don't
Look,
even know what's funny.
Wes, comedy has gone so far downhill that you can't be funny anymore. You can't.
No, can't say anything.
You have to be careful with everything you say. It's not a joke anymore, and it's like, but it is a joke. That's why it's called comedy,
Yeah.
right? But it's not anymore, and that's the unfortunate part is we don't get a lot of that. But then also you get the people who have changed their comedic style to now fit narratives, to now fit party lines and things like that, and that to me is gross. Like when you used to be a comedian and now your jokes are all pointed at one thing, it's like that's not comedy anymore, and you see too much of that as well. But yeah, we got to get that out of especially the Academy Awards. I think in general, and it's not just the Academy Awards, like all the award shows, all these big things that we used to watch or people used to watch in general, they're not what they used to be because they're turning into a war against each other, over things that aren't movies, that aren't music, that aren't, those type of things. So
Like, was it
Well,
next
and then
year's?
it's oversaturated. Like, when was the SAG Awards ever on TV? Now it's always on TV.
No, yeah.
And that one is the worst because
Yeah.
that's like the Pat Hollywood, we are the greatest on our
right.
back.
Well, that and the Golden Globes have gotten pretty bad. They sit around at tables and they drink and they think they're funny. It's like, and I don't understand. Like, why don't you get a bigger venue? It looks like you're down.
You get a bigger
You're down at
video.
the Holiday Inn. Like, why don't you get a bigger place? I mean,
Yeah, they got enough money, right? All right. Well, uh, we'll get past that one and finish off here just with any recommendations again for movies, movie reviews. Let us know if you want top fives, movie reviews, in the comments. Love to hear that. Hopefully, I can get a short out of this because it's okay for top five lists too. I'd love some feedback for that. What kind of genres or top fives you do. And we're going to start rolling out next week's movie review or top five ahead of time so our fans can maybe watch them with us and critique our reviews even more
did you say we have
than they already
fans?
do.
Now we have less fans. We just torched Hollywood.
Right.
We'll see if we have fans.
No, most people believe I believe what we
Hopefully
believe.
we have fans. I'm sorry for being mean to
Yeah,
Hollywood,
I'm
but
sure.
I like him.
So
I like Mel Gibson.
here's next week's movie topic. And what I'll try to do is we'll try to get the actual movie names in the description of this one so we can have next week. But for next week, we're going to review a movie, and what you're going to do is you're going to find a friend or family member, and they're going to pick an actor or actress, and then you have to decide the movie that you're going to review. So they can't pick the movie, just a friend or family member, and don't use someone you've already used before. As we, I know we haven't done this exact thing, but try to make it someone different. Actor, actress from somebody different. You're gonna pick the movie. We'll put a description. People can follow and watch and catch us on the next podcast with the review. All right. Well, let's wrap it up there. Thanks for listening, HSC Podcast. Well, don't forget to catch our shorts. And then next week we'll be talking more wrap up March Madness with our new movie topic as well for the movie section. Any final thoughts?
It'll be great talking about St. John's next week.
Oh boy, we'll see. Hey, we're gonna have reactions to takes again,
I know
so
some
we
big
might
Duke
be using
fans.
these ones.
I know some big Duke fans that got thrown out of a casino because of that Siena game.
Oh boy.
That's how bad it gets thick.
Well, it's gonna kill my bracket, so I hope it doesn't, but we'll see what happens. All right, we'll see you next time.